Don't be like that.
It's we are live, ladies. So how you ladies doing tonight?
I'm
We're
great.
good.
It's
Wonderful.
Friday. Feeling good.
Amen.
Yes.
Okay.
Feeling so
So
good.
tonight,
Blessed.
episode, I'm Sheena Johnson, or Sheena Monique, and we have y'all can start introducing yourselves.
I'm
Wow,
CJ.
we just like, look, just jump on in.
I'm Ebony Lewis.
Hey, everybody. I am Kayla. Most people know me as KB.
Mhm. Okay, tonight we're talking about loving someone with narcissistic traits. So, what are narcissistic behavior in a relationship to you guys? Who
Manipulation.
want to go? Mm, gaslighting.
Mani- Manipulation.
Definitely gaslighting. Definitely.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Blaming.
Accountability.
None.
At all.
No accountability.
That's men. That's that's some better
Not
right
all,
there.
but some. Not all, but
That's
some. Most.
most,
Most, yeah,
most
I can
men.
say most.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Control, uh, empty promises,
Facts.
non-dependable.
They self-centered.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely
Yeah.
self-centered.
Very
Um,
self-centered. Um, Set unreal expectations for their partner
Yes.
because you'll never, when dealing with a narcissist, you'll never meet their needs and expectations. It will never happen.
It's never good enough. No
Never.
matter what you do,
um,
it's never good enough. And they're
Yep.
gonna always blame you for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they are in the wrong, they will find a way to flip it back on you as if you are the problem.
Right.
Yep.
So, have you guys been in a narcissistic relationship?
yes, I have. It's very draining. And it falls under abuse, verbal, physical, mental, emotional. It's very draining.
It's very draining.
Yes.
Um, you can't concentrate. You are easily distracted. You can't focus. Um, it's almost like a drug. Um,
And I also think when you're in like narcissistic relationships with people, if you're a person that have been through any type of trauma in your past life, sometimes it's not always easy to detect it while you're actually going through that situation. Sometimes you don't realize that you were dealing with a narcissist until you've healed and you're able to see clearly after that relationship has ran its course. Because a lot of times while you're dealing with it, you're questioning yourself, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why is this not working? So you find yourself doing a lot of self-blaming when it's really not you, but you don't realize it at the time.
and you develop what's called Stockholm syndrome,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and you you really don't realize. Um, it's almost like it's the person that is hurting you, but for some reason you praise them
Still holding on to that person,
and you
even though
praise
it's
them.
hurting you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm sure at some point everything was all exciting and happy, but what made you realize that something wasn't right and you were dealing with a person that was narcissistic? Like, at what moment you was like, you know what, I need to shake myself back. I need to get up out of this because this is not healthy for me. Like, what
Um,
behaviors were you seeing in yourself or that person?
I was mostly seeing it in myself, because I suffered from a lot of self-confidence issues. Uh, I was always second guessing myself and my decisions, and I always felt well. Mainly because also I lost my independence. Um, because a person can make you feel like you have to depend on them. I will say a narcissist always want to be needed. So at some point, when you do feel like you want to walk away, it's like, man, am I going to be able to do this on my own? So it's like once I got to that point, I'm like, I had to really self-reflect and have a conversation with myself.
Hmm.
So it's like I saw the red flags, and also the red flags could be thrown in your face multiple times and you could still ignore it.
Because you start, having sympathy for them, or you start feeling sorry for them because they have manipulated you so bad into thinking that you are the one that's treating them wrong. And then you start being like, oh, maybe I am looking at this wrong. Maybe they're not the problem. Maybe I am the problem. Because the manipulation alone will have you so messed up in your head to the point to where you cannot decipher the lie from the truth.
Yeah.
And so you can't, I mean, you just, like, it's,
Take your time.
It's okay. Believe me, I
Yeah,
understand how you
take your
feel.
time.
Very emotional thing to talk about.
Yeah, and to the it's like it make you keep self blaming yourself, and it puts you in this like this torment with yourself, and you can sometimes be in it so long, and it take you so long to heal from it and get out of it. So
and it
Oh,
doesn't help that you fall in love with the person. You know what I'm saying? You fall in love with the person or the idea of what you guys could be, and how far you could go and what you can succeed at and how successful.
you should go away.
Uh-oh, I think her camera went out.
Yeah,
well,
it's weird.
I'm a piggyback off what she's saying, only because uh, I lost myself and through the entire situation. Um, I fell into heavy depression. Weight was up and down. Um, and it's like no matter how many times I was reassured or complimented by other people, I didn't see that in myself. I always saw whatever that person told me, I started believing it for myself. So it's like whatever they said, yeah, it's true. I'm not attractive. Don't nobody want me. Like you start believing the negative things that they put into your head, and it's like it's back and forth. It's like a tug of war on your heartstrings if you a very emotional person. Because one minute they could bash you, the next minute they complimenting you, and it's like what you trying to do?
Right. I think
I agree with
everything.
that, Joe. I really do. I think once you get to a place of not recognizing your own self, you find yourself in a place of wanting to make that person more happy than you are wanting to make your own self happy. I think at that point is when you start to realize, okay, this is not healthy for me. I need to make some harsh decisions and finally get to a place of wanting to choose me because sometimes in those narcissistic relationships, those people can get you to a place of isolation where you just solely depend on them and you feel like this is all I have. So now, like, you stuck. by yourself. And that's exactly the place that they want you to be at. They want you to solely depend on them. And that way you don't have people to tell you, baby, that's not right. You know, that's not how you should be treated, or that's not how you should, because they don't want people in your ear that can deter you from what their ultimate goal is, and that's to control you in the situation. So I think when you get to a place of finding yourself depressed a lot, being isolated and lonely, you have nobody to talk to, that's the point where you start to feel like, okay, I need to make some changes, because this the way we going, this not healthy, and it's gonna
Right.
end up bad for
Yeah.
me or you.
Yeah. Because and you know that's one of the things that's so good that you say that, Kayla, because one of the things that I noticed dealing with a narcissist was that all of my friends were my problem. So my friends are my problem. So my friends are putting things in my head. Friends are telling me,
Yeah,
you know, or making me act a certain way, or um, my friends, um, I don't need them.
yeah,
They hating on me. Your friends really don't like you. You know, you are at a certain status, and um, you know, yeah, the manipulation, the isolation, the and you know one thing about me that that I am grateful for, that I am as strong minded that I am, because I've been through so much trauma in my life that made me so strong, that made me look at things differently. So when it started happening to me, I was like, oh shit, I'm still going out with my friends. Hell, I don't care what you say. I'm still gonna do what I want to do. I'm still about to be drunk. I'm still, you know what I'm saying? Because I started realizing what was happening. Now, does it make it easy for me to go? No, no, not at all. Because I know at the end of the day, the reality of it is this is not going to work. Like, this relationship is not going to work. Like, this is not healthy, and then made to feel like I'm the selfish one, that I'm the one I'm only thinking about myself when I have needs or I have things that want to be met. I'm feeling like, oh, well, they're going through something and I'm sitting here, barking. So I'm the problem. But I'm not. I'm not the problem. But that
So did
isolation
you?
is a big one.
Yeah. So did you know the characteristics of a narcissistic person prior to dealing with one, or was this like your first time experience and you had to learn the process?
So I work in mental health. So I've always known the characteristics of a narcissist. So when I actually stepped in it and walked into that relationship and I started seeing the signs, it was like a gut punch. Because even though I knew the characteristics of a narcissist, I still didn't want to let go.
It's hard. I think it's because it's like in the beginning, it feel like the love is just so great and nobody else gonna love you that way. And I think they treat you so well because they know what's coming or they know
they
how they
love
are.
you.
Yeah. And after a while, it becomes like I'm gonna do you so good, and then I can control you later.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time, you don't even realize it, and you be just swept up in the mix.
Yeah. Yep. You be swept up in the mix and then it's too late. Well, it's not too late, but it's, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you
It's a
there
lot
now.
harder to let go once all that has transpired.
Yeah.
Right. And then you end up in a situation for years and years on end, and it takes a long time, to
Mm-hmm.
work on yourself and then try to get out of it. And then some people even, I think it's like it's the only thing that made you feel alive. So sometimes even when you get out of it, you run back to it.
Yeah. And I think as women, um, most of us are so loyal to a fault that you don't want to be the one to give up on a person, because you feel bad for giving up or walking away or being selfish and choosing yourself. You feel selfish a little bit for doing those things, even though you know you should. But we so loyal to a fault. It's like, man, we've been through all this and all these years. Like, I don't just want to walk away from all that. Even though I know this situation may be hurting me, it's still hard to let it go and walk away because you still in a place mentally of thinking about what could be instead of focusing on what the reality actually is of the situation. We get so caught up in what we want it to be or what we think it could possibly be that sometimes we don't focus on what the actual reality is in
Mhm.
the current situation.
I think as women we fall in love with potential.
Yeah.
Like what the potential of the relationship could have been, or the potential he could be. So
Yeah.
it take you so long to get out of it because you still holding on to the potential. Like I know he can
Mhm.
change because I think he's such a great person. So you just really just spinning your wheels. You're looking for a ghost, and you never
Yeah.
get it. It's over and over and over again. It's like, are we getting the I could fix him?
Oh
You
yes.
know,
Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like you said, Sheena, we definitely fall in love with the, oh, he could change. We be wanting that
Mhm.
change to happen so bad, and it never come. It never come.
right?
Who they show
Or he
you
not
they are,
gonna do me how
they
he
are.
did you.
Right, right. He not gonna
Mhm.
Right.
do you the same way. But who they show you they are, that's who they are. They not gonna change.
And you know what's so bad about it, y'all?
And we often feel like we could love a person into changing. Like if I just love
Yes,
him hard enough,
they'll
and
that
show him
they'll
I'm a good
change.
woman, that he
Hmm.
gonna eventually change and get it together. No,
Oh,
baby. You just gonna be wasting your poor time waiting on him to change. And it's 5, 6 years, 10 years down the line, and you still waiting on him to change. And in the midst, you done lost yourself.
and it's so crazy because they leave a line of broken hearts.
Yeah.
And I've also experienced being with a narcissist that broke up with someone, and the poor thing knows that the person is a narcissist and went through those things, but still running behind them, going crazy behind them, and causing havoc and turmoil, even though they know that this person is a narcissist, because it is just for whatever reason. I don't know. I guess we can go back to that trauma bonding and that love bombing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that,
Mhm.
like, so they just leave a lineage of women broken. Because I don't think that when you're dating a narcissist and you actually leave the narcissist alone, you're actually not the one leaving them. They're going to leave you
Right.
because it's time for them to move on to the next victim.
Um,
They actually don't leave you.
some
They
cases.
actually replace you first.
Yeah,
They
they
replace you
replace you
first. They
first
find your replacement, and it's like they transition from one relationship into the other.
to
That's
the
why that
next.
other lady still feels like that. So she's
Right.
still thinking we got something going on. Like I don't understand what is this? But he done moved on, but she's still over here thinking is this right? So she's telling the other woman, "This my man. This that," and you trying to bash the other woman or things like that. And that's how so much drama happens with these men and these women, and men that have women hating you and you don't even know who they are. You know,
Yes.
like what they say, for every man you get, you got like 5 or 10 women that don't like you.
And
You
don't even
know,
have a
so he
clue of
already,
why. Baby,
and
you
you
don't
have
even know
no
me.
idea why. Yeah,
It ain't me.
yeah.
I ain't your
So they
problem.
replace you. Yeah, they replace you before they move on. So
We should all start some type of group where we can heal each other. Cause baby, you coming for me,
yeah.
you coming for the wrong one, sis. Cause
Hmm.
I'm about to go.
Yeah.
I'm in the thick of the trauma too. I'm in the thick of it too.
Yep.
I'm going through it too. I just do it silently. You just don't know that I'm going through it. But what they tiger don't change their stripes. Like you say, they just replace
Right.
one, go into the next, and hurt the next person.
But the
Use the
next
next
Well,
person can't.
person.
the
She can't
problem
pick
with
up
that
on it because
is
he's in the gaslighting stage.
Right.
You
The
good.
problem with that is people who are narcissistic and they step out on their relationships. This is why you have this trail of people that's disliking you and you have no reason because you got the narcissist going back to them, bashing you, dragging your name through
Mm-hmm.
the dirt,
Right.
and they believe that. And then they get sold a dream as well because like I said, I've seen it, dealt with it firsthand. Um, oh, we go build a family. When I'm done with her, done with him, we can move in together, etc., etc. And then it's like you get you get these shady messages or subliminals, and that's why it's confusing because it's like, first of all, how can you agree with someone about a person you don't even know
That
Mm-hmm.
firsthand?
part.
Right.
That's the part that don't make sense to me, and it's like, are you really that simple-minded?
Some of them are.
Hmm.
And
If a man talking to me about a woman, he still love that woman to me.
Oh,
Don't be
I,
absolutely.
sitting laying in my bed
Absolutely.
still talking about her.
And if you bring her up, because see, when I was with such and such, you know what I'm saying? Well, go back and be with such and such. Because
that,
in a minute, this such and such about to have a problem with you and it ain't going to end well. So, and but that's part of that manipulation also, and I always try to figure out like, you done been with all of these women and you didn't had all of this whatever that you say that you had with all of these. Well, why you ain't with them? What had happened? Why you not with them? What happened? And I'm gonna tell you another thing about a narcissist too. And did we say this, that they're arrogant
yes,
and they
highly.
talk and they talk about themselves in first, second, and third person,
Yes, yes. I don't understand it. It's crazy. Baby, what? What are you
and they
talking about?
and they book themselves. I mean, when I tell you they are the most highly, I mean, my God, they are like the
They
the
think
the
they are God's gift to all women.
Oh, girl, because God created them in a mold that He didn't create nobody else, honey. He shaped them in a lab, honey, Himself with His own hands and placed them with His bare hands on earth, honey. He put them right
Most,
there.
but if you really, if most narcissists though who do portray themselves as high and mighty, like they so confident and arrogant, they really not. But that's how they
No,
have to come off to other people to get what they want. Most of them are dealing with mommy issues.
Mm.
Most
that
of them are dealing with the fact that they didn't get enough love growing up. And so now they have to try and compensate. So they dog other women because they have trauma from their mommy issues growing up. So now it's like I got a vendetta against all women now. So now I have to hurt all women because my mama wasn't there for me. I've personally had to go through that and listen at this man cry in my yard for 5 hours, drunk, about how his mama didn't love him. And now I realize why you handle all women the way that you do.
right.
This is
It's
why.
like they have a vendetta against all women.
Yes, they do. But you need to go seek therapy in God. That's what you need to go do. That's what you need to go
Mm-hmm.
do. But to
What it
the
say?
world,
Willing to break our own
they just the
rules.
greatest man alive. They have all these accomplishments going on. They have this money, they have all these accolades, but inside you really broken.
Right. So let me let
Inside you really in a dark place.
right.
Really.
And this goes for and listen, audience that's out there. I don't want y'all to think that we're just bashing men. We're just women that have gone through some
No,
things,
because
but
trust
there
me,
are
they
women
got
that are
women that are
narcissists
narcissists.
too. Real
Yes.
bad.
Fact.
Yes.
Real bad.
I
And I
know a
think
few.
I think a woman narcissist is probably about maybe worse than a man because of the emotional
Yes.
um
Aspect,
attachments
yeah.
that, so we don't want men to think that we're just bashing, but there are women narcissists out there, and they are by far
And trust me, if we have some men listening, y'all can definitely chime in,
they're chiming in.
on
Jeremy
y'all
said,
experiences.
I just read Jeremy
Hmm.
said something about that they bend their own rules for the sake of, what their desire or whatever,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
bending for the sake of the discussion, we were willing to break our own rules for those we desire, even against our better judgment. But I mean, well, that's
Yes.
not a narcissist. That's not narcissistic behavior. So, a narcissist would never bend their own rules because they're right all the time. There is nothing that they're not right about. And your opinion doesn't matter. It is what they say, it's how they say it, and who they say it about. And it's
Well, I
just
think that
that's
he's mostly talking about the person that's going through the
That's
narcissistic
going through it.
oh,
person.
Yeah.
y'all,
That
it's
we
Yeah.
are,
very small.
yeah,
I'm trying to read
that we
some of them
are,
as they pop up.
that we're normally willing to break our own rules just for the sake of the person that we
Oh yeah.
desire. So we're willing to
No,
go through
no,
those
a
things.
hundred
Yeah,
percent. A
yeah,
100%. We
yeah.
definitely break our own rules. And you know what's so crazy? When I, going through the things with a narcissist, I've had friends to tell me, yeah, ain't no way. Cause you would have never put up with that with such and such.
Oh, I
You
heard
would
that
have
so many times.
never.
Person. It's the person though. It's the person and how that person make you feel and what you desire in that person. Because every person that you deal with not gonna always get the same side of you.
Right.
No, they're not.
So it just depends on the person and
Yeah.
what you desire in that person, which is gonna tell you how far you willing to let things go with that person. Because if you was dealing with a broke man or somebody who didn't have much, you wouldn't even put up with half of the stuff you would with a man that has probably all the qualities that you're looking for.
Well, sometimes,
Sometimes dealing with that broke man that's a
Not
narcissistic and
sis.
he's out here.
That broke man, you ain't gonna put up with half as much as you would if you was dealing with a man who had buku money giving you everything you wanted.
I don't think that's true because that go the case we wouldn't have women that's out here taking care of men.
right?
Well, I ain't
They
one of
have
those.
women out here taking care of men and
I
and
ain't one
and
of
and,
those.
and the men are housewives. Or we have the women out here giving these men these um some men require threesomes from their women or these poly relationships. And guess what? Those men broke this. They broke $0, 0 cents.
And let me
I
Or
think
they
tell
might
you,
not
you
have as
will,
much as
and let
the
me tell
woman
you
has.
something. I don't know if y'all noticed, but you will find a lot of narcissists that's broke. That they really
Yeah.
do not have
yeah,
all of the things that they say that they
they
have.
portray themselves like they do.
Yes.
But they know how to get the women to do what they need them to do. That's why they are where they are. So in their mind, they not broke because you taking care of me. I got your money. I got your car. How I'm broke.
And her money too.
And hers too. Yep. Yep. So most of the time it is somebody that doesn't have. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that do have money, it is a little different. You right. You do sometimes put up with more, but
Right.
let's be honest, if we gonna pick 10 men, we got a couple of men that don't have money and they are narcissistic and they got somebody at home doing things for them that they shouldn't even be doing. Should have been left them at the door.
At the
True.
door. But it's something about the way they talk to you in the beginning. It's the way they swag, they demeanor, because they so confident. Like when you first meet them, they so confident in everything they do. And then it don't help if they fucking sick. I'm sorry. Sorry, Kayla. It don't help if they their
I just
appearance.
told you.
I know, I'm sorry. It don't help if their appearance, you know what I'm saying, matches that cockiness.
The
You know what I'm
confidence.
saying? That
Yes.
they find, they carry themselves well, they dress, and they cocky, they got their confidence, and they stand tall, and You know what I'm saying? And they just sweep you off your feet, and then the next thing you, girl, listen.
Jeremy
The
said, I
whole
think
hurricane come
also
through.
suggest
I
it's
was
about the
just
timing as
on that.
well. Someone most vulnerable or lowest times can influence us to be open to things that we normally wouldn't do
Yes,
or
And I,
because
normally oppose to.
Yes,
most men will
yes.
prey on vulnerable
on
women, and
vulnerable
they can
women.
definitely tell when a woman is in
One,
a vulnerable
yes,
state. They can
yes,
tell.
and
But we
And
it's
as
a lot
almost
women
of
like
go
they
times
have
wrong.
we
a
talk too much. A lot of
right.
times we
There
talk
you
too
go.
much. We meeting these
There you
men,
go.
we talk too much and tell them
Opening up
too
about
much
our
about what
problems
we
when
have
we
been through.
shouldn't.
Yes, we tell them too
Mhm.
much about what we have been through or the situation we just got out of, and open the door for a whole lot of more trauma to come upon
You
him.
didn't tell him how to
Because
treat
you
you.
told him everything, so now
You
he
done
know what
told
to
him
do.
how to treat you
Yeah,
because
he know
what
what to
you
do
just
now.
said. He know exactly what to do because everything that he told you that this man, that man, whatever did to you prior to, he about to do the same. He about
But he ain't gonna do it at first.
Don't
He ain't gonna
cuss,
do it at
friend.
first. He gonna
I
sweep you
heard it
off your
coming.
feet.
it was
I
coming.
heard it coming. I
He
heard
gonna
it
sweep
coming,
you
friend.
off
Don't
your
cuss.
feet at first. He
He
gonna
is
make
that.
you think that it's all good, and you
Oh
gonna be like, "Oh,
yeah.
this new. This a breath of
Oh
fresh air.
yeah.
Like this what I need." And once you
But
get
they
comfortable,
see, yeah.
there come that devil.
Kevin said, "Oh, they know when the right time is. They can spot us. Yeah,
Yeah,
you coming from a mile away, sis. They know
See you
you not
coming from a
healed.
mile away.
They know you
yeah.
They
not
can
It's like you
healed.
smell
got a
you.
little sign on your forehead. Vulnerable.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I wear my heart on my
Pick
sleeve,
me.
so
Well,
people
I
can
do
tell
too.
when
With
something wrong
me.
with me. They be
Yeah,
like,
it's
"What?
all over my
Why you look
face.
like that? You
Right.
not your
Hmm.
happy, hype self?"
Yeah.
And I'll be like,
Oh, well, let me just tell you what
Right. Let me run it to you
happened.
right quick.
You know, I was messing with this nigga and he
Yep.
just ran me down through there. You know what
Yep.
I'm
And you
saying?
like,
And,
"Oh, baby,
Hmm.
really? You
and then
too
you waking up
They
beautiful to
got
be
to,
going through
yeah.
that.
and
You
every
too
morning you
Daddy
waking
beautiful.
up to those
issues.
good morning
Good morning,
texts.
gorgeous.
You getting them forehead kisses. You
It's
getting
Grand Rising.
flowers.
Grand Rising
It's
Queen.
Grand Rising
Yeah.
Queen.
You getting, what are you doing today? Can we meet for lunch? Are you
and
feeling
that's what I
okay?
call honeymoon state,
Yes.
man.
Yep.
They send their
To
girl
Yep.
into a situationship
Yes.
that you should have never got in the first place.
But how do you, so let's talk about that though. So how do you stop that though? Because most of the time when you're single and you're dating, you kind of just, I guess that's where boundaries come in, and we have to create those
Hmm.
boundaries and stop being so
Hmm.
vulnerable, like you say,
Um,
and and just know, look, okay, you want to take, you want to take me out for lunch today? Yeah, I can go out with you for lunch today, but you know what I'm saying? And he called tomorrow and be like, nah, I can't do it today, but no, not us. Oh, girl, he could call and ask us for lunch 3 days in a row, baby, and we getting dressed, putting makeup on, jumping up out of bed. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, yeah, Boots Booty called me. We finna go to lunch, baby. And guess what? That man got a sign behind his back saying, baby, I'm finna take you down through there. I'm about to have you in 12 months. You about to be so crazy. You finna be on Xanax, Lexapro, Clonidine,
Up
Seroquel.
and down through there.
You
Yeah.
about to be on all of it because I'm finna take you down through there.
well, I'm a say this. A lot of us, well, I kind of spoke on it the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us have experienced, survival mode. So being that, knowing me, being raised by a single mom, I was in survival mode. But the upside of that is
Oh,
you
yeah.
learn to create boundaries, you learn self-discipline, you learn self-control, and you learn emotional detachment. Because don't get me wrong, I've been in my situationships, but it's like the moment I feel myself trying to catch feelings, it'd be like, hold on, sis. I'm about to take a step back because don't, bruh.
That's where those boundaries are being created.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
But
mind
when you
games
have
being
boundaries,
played.
it's more like they say, "What you being difficult?
Oh,
Right.
You
No,
absolutely,
okay?
it's not
especially
Oh
even
from a
being
yeah."
narcissist.
difficult. It's not
If you
even being
So that's what the
difficult. It's
man say. That's
That's
what the
what people
man say.
But
Oh,
think.
that's
you
what
got
a
your guard
narcissist
up,
will say. A narcissist
right?
will say, you start creating boundaries and you start limiting yourself
Oh, they don't like
of
that.
No.
conversations. You start limiting yourself of, because some of us women, are strong enough and we catch on and we like, Lord, this hurt, but who, let me shake back. So at some point, and then I'm a Pisces too. So one thing about me, and Kayla couldn't attest to this, I will stop talking to everybody. I don't care. I will shut down, stop talking to everybody. It'd be 5 months down the road. Then I'm gonna pick up the phone and call and be like, hey girl, what you doing? I
I
mean,
just
that's
say
just
ignore
me.
her.
Like I will do that. So it's not too hard for me to try to come out of those situations, because I can do that shutdown thing. But when you start creating those boundaries, now all of a sudden they want to know what's wrong, what's the matter. I just I need to check in with, I need to see what you got going on and this and that and the other, because but you
But
have
some
to
of them don't
create
even do
those.
that.
Right.
That some of them do when they ain't got no replacement yet. See, if they
So
don't
how
have
do
a
you do no
replacement, they got to
contact?
try to reel you back in, because they don't have a
Right.
replacement yet. So they got to have somebody to control. They got to have somebody to manipulate. They got to have somebody to rule. They got to have somebody that they can, whatever. They got to have somebody that they can belittle and put down, because the average person is not going to let you just walk around. You can't just walk around the city and just put yourself so high on a pedestal, and people going to ignore that shit, and just be like, whatever. But when you got that person that's in your corner, in your house, in your life, that you can bash and put down and put down and put down, that's making them rise and rise and rise and feel superior over. And they don't, so they gotta have somebody. That's another thing about a narcissist. They gotta have somebody at all
I
times.
also, like Brink said, when you have low self esteem already,
Oh yeah.
it plays a big factor. With narcissistic men, when you already have low self esteem.
Yeah.
With that, I definitely agree with
So,
that.
so how
Uh,
do you do no contact with a narcissistic person? Because
Wait,
It
say
no
that
depends
again.
contact
on.
is hard anyway.
So
Like,
let me
they say
tell
no
you.
contact, 30 days, this, that.
You
How?
it, you have to. So I mean,
Ain't hard
like
for
I
me.
said, I don't have a
block,
no. I can go no contact with people. Period. Like I just have that inside of me. It
block,
is it block. Do not put your phone on do not
do not
disturb.
disturb.
Block them. Um, it's gonna be hard. Go get start. Listen, and this is just me. I said this the last time. You got to start fasting. You got to start praying. You have to get in your Bible. Get you some coloring books and colors. If you feel like that you getting distracted and you want to pick that phone up and you want to call that person, baby, hit the slab. Catch 2 miles. Walk. Put some music in your ear. Put Sarah Jakes in your ear. Put whatever pastor that you like, put it in your ear. Cry. You're going to cry. Y'all, let me tell you something. It is not easy. You are going to cry. I'm still crying. You are going to cry so many days.
Yeah,
It is not going to be easy. It's almost like grief, but you have to let it go, because let me tell you something. Those relationships can end so badly. They
yeah.
can end in violence, because at some point, they don't just be verbal, y'all,
You
they
get
become
physical.
physical.
Yeah,
They become physical. So if you suspect that the person that you and I'm not talking about all this Facebook stuff, because I made a post about Facebook statuses that I get so sick of people just making up stuff on Facebook. But a real textbook case of a narcissist. Because listen, let me ask this question. Do y'all feel like we all have a little traits of narcissism? Somebody told me that yesterday, that everybody have a little trait of
Yeah,
narcissism.
I do
I
yeah.
believe
mean,
it.
we all can be, yeah.
As a woman,
We
yeah, I
basically
do.
talking about
I've
Cause
had to
traits,
check
yeah.
myself before, even in my marriage. I've had to check myself, like, girl, hold on,
Right,
don't
right.
don't do that.
Don't do
cause
that. Don't say that. Don't be like that. Right. So, so I'm speaking of like not the little traits that we might see in our partner that we're like, oh, whatever, because social media has made us think that everybody in the world is a narcissist at this point.
Right.
So no, I mean a true textbook case. If you feel like that you are in a very bad spot, and this person, and because just like we were saying earlier, being with a narcissist drains you. It makes you feel you're tired all the time. You can't think. You can't focus. You can't
Yeah.
function. You're, especially if you are, a business owner, or got to get up and go to a job every day, and you got to hit the clock. You can't even focus at work. Your boss looking at you like, baby, you about to go because I'm finna get rid of you. You know, because you can't think, you can't function, you can't, you know, because you just in such a bad place. You gotta go no contact. You gotta get out of it.
Baby,
You
Jeremy
got
on it tonight, baby.
Baby
He
is.
on
You seen
it,
that is
baby.
complicated manicure
you
for some
seen him?
size 15
Yes,
inch.
I do.
The complicated part of it is separating one's expectations with absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely, Jeremy, absolutely,
Preach, friend.
Right.
yes.
Did he say
Come
it
on, can you
like
come
that to
on
you?
I
in? You want to come
did.
on in?
Yes, that's my
We gotta
friend, y'all.
get some
That's
fellas
my
Come
on
on
friend.
here.
down.
We're gonna
Come
have to
on
get some fellas
down.
on here, y'all.
Yes, yes,
Like that
Jeremy.
tea.
Yes, absolutely. You know, and
You
that
need
is
to
true
send Jeremy the
reality in
link.
our expectations. And a lot of time, y'all, we
Look,
reality
look,
never
I
sets
got
in.
y'all.
Send Jeremy the link. Let's bring Jeremy on real quick.
Come on, Jeremy. Come on down.
Friend, I'm about to send you delete.
Send
I
his
also
delete.
think though that when we get out of narcissistic relationships or any bad relationship, when we in that spot, sometimes we be like, let me just go mess with such and
He said
such,
he at work.
such and such. You know what I'm saying, to get over this little heartbreak or whatever. But I think we need to start prioritizing taking some time. Take some time to yourself and
Yes.
really figure out why this happened. Why
Right.
did I allow it to happen? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You need to start doing some self diving to see
Yes.
why this situation happened and why I allowed it to happen for so long. Like, why didn't I realize it earlier? You know, what am I worth? You know, like I need to figure that out. Like, what do I deserve? You know, what is it that I truly want
That.
in life and out of a partner? You know, so this don't keep happening. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you'll get in a bad relationship and then you'll find yourself in one bad relationship after another bad relationship, and
Yeah.
then you just like, okay, why, Lord, come on now, why this keep happening? But I think that after those relationships is necessary to take that time to yourself instead of worrying about trying to find somebody to cover that band-aid. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yes,
Like,
I
Right.
you need to take that time to yourself to fast. Like my sis
Yeah.
say, fast. You need to journal if you need to. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? You need to really sit down and figure out what is it that this keeps happening, or
Mm-hmm.
what am I searching for? You know what I'm saying? What I'm
Mm-hmm.
searching for that this keeps happening, or I keep running into the same type of man that this keeps happening.
so
You know, like what is it that I want in life, and what do I desire in a partner? What am I
Right.
willing to put up with, and what are my hard nose, my boundaries? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Yeah.
when you see them red flags, baby, run.
And that
Because that
comes that
red flag gonna
so
be one red flag after another. It's never gonna turn green.
exactly. And and
so
that also comes from finding yourself.
Yeah,
So
you
once
need
you
to
figure
heal.
out who you are, start loving on yourself. Find
Yes,
out what you like. Find out what
yes.
like Kayla was saying, like, and it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy. It's not,
You'll
because
realize after them situations that you don't know yourself at all.
at
Because
all.
Yeah.
after those bad situations and you stuck with just you, you're
Yeah.
gonna be like, Lord, who is Kayla?
Right.
What do Kayla love to do? What makes me happy? Because
Girl,
you've
I
been
don't even
stuck
know
in a
what I
place
like to
of
eat at
trying.
this point.
Exactly. You've been stuck in a place for so long of trying to please someone else that now you don't even know you. So now you
Yeah.
got to go through a period of figuring out who is Kayla? What do Kayla love to do? What brings me joy that don't have nothing to do with nobody else?
That's right.
You will realize that sitting with yourself is a very uncomfortable, ugly place.
it
That
is,
That's where you
but
silence,
need to
that
be.
silence with
That's where
yourself.
you
a
need
lot
to
of
be though.
people,
You
a
gotta
lot of
sit with
people need to do
yourself.
that.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah,
of people got to do that,
Yeah.
and they don't like to do it because that's what I had to do. I literally had to sit down
You
in the
learn a lot about
quiet.
yourself.
Yeah,
you
so
do.
it takes
Hmm.
a lot of growth, and I'm glad, and that's the beautiful part of dealing with someone narcissistic, because God could, like you were saying in the last conversation we had, God could show you all the red flags, but we choose to ignore them. And we
Yeah.
continue to deal with
Yeah.
them people. So it's like, all right, he said, I'm gonna let you sit in it.
Yep.
So you sit in it, you continue to deal with it, and that's when you learn your flaws,
Mm-hmm.
your likes, your dislikes. And sometimes the people that we dealing with could be a reflection of our own traumas that we choose not to face
Ooh,
head
yeah.
on. So that's something I also had to learn as well, because some people confuse the two with soul contracts and karmic relationships. It's not
Mm.
always a karma thing.
Oh.
Sometimes it shows soul contract, God showing you you need to face this before I allow you to elevate.
Yeah.
So doing that is like, all right, I'm working out, I'm educating myself more, I'm expanding my mindset, I'm fasting, I'm praying, like, and sometimes majority of the time it's just God like, hey, I need you to come back to me
Yes. At the end of
because
the day.
you put no faith in man but God.
Yeah.
And us putting our faith in someone else, knowing they could be leading us wrong, steering us wrong, and we find ourselves in a hole that we can't get ourselves out of. I've been
Mm-hmm.
there, I've been there, done that, and it's like I'm still digging myself out of holes that I've allowed someone to put me in. So it's like we lose our way at times. But then again, like you spoke on earlier, it also lets you see who you have surrounded, like who you're surrounded by. A lot of people that I was cool with, I no longer have them around me. Cause this is a prayer I always found myself saying every day. God remove those who no longer serve me a purpose.
Oh, yes, yes. You'll be
Mm-hmm.
surprised the people that fall off.
Man, and they
That's
just fall
live.
off quietly. And I stopped questioning so much that was going on in my life, and I was like, I would just go to God for guidance. Like, what do I do next? Like, stop questioning what you're dealing with and look at why you're going through it, why
Yeah.
you're dealing with it.
Yeah.
And as I started elevating and transforming, I started attracting the people that I needed around me.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, shout out to my friend Strickland. Um, that's my boy right there. Um, you are surrounded by those who have the same mindset as you. Y'all chasing the same goals. Y'all talking about elevation, how we gonna better ourselves each day. We're not getting on the phone gossiping 24/7,
Yes,
talking
the
about the next person
conversations are
business. That has nothing to do with me.
different. Yeah.
How is that gonna allow me to move
Grow.
on to where I need to go to next? So it's like where I'm at right now, like I told this guy, I have no interest in no relations. I know for a fact I want a husband, not a play toy. I want consistency. And a lot of people don't have that to offer because today, man, dark times and Jezebel is on the run.
Mm.
It's a lot of lust out there. And believe it or not, I fell for it. I did. But long as I corrected myself, hey, you ain't gotta worry about me going down that path. I'm good on it. Let me get back on my focus of self-care, self-growth. So I'm keeping myself busy with positive things instead of giving my time to those trying to fill a void. Because a lot of people out here are trying to fill voids, temporary voids, and have no fulfillment. You're still going
Yes.
to be empty at the end of the day
Yes.
because you don't have nothing pouring into you, and you're looking for these people to pour into you, but your cup's still not full. So that's how I look at it from my situation, and I thank God I'm strong enough to walk away from it. But I'm not gonna sit up here and figure out how I'm gonna do this because at the end of the day, I know for a fact the man above got me. He got me, he got mines, and that's all that matters.
Right. Well, they do say that you need to get yourself wrapped up in God so much that if a man do come for you, you know, know God sent them to you. And you can kind of pick up on the different things that that person have. If he's not right with the Lord himself, he can't guide and lead you.
Right.
So, but do
Right.
you guys think that a narcissistic person can change?
No, they can't change until they actually sit in their own pile of crap.
I feel like
But
I feel like anybody could possibly change. You have to want to change. Like you have to be at a place of taking accountability for your actions and what you've done in order to want to change. Like you can't say I want to change, but you still not taking accountability for the things that you've done or the people that you've hurt, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's you can't. You have to be at a place of willing to accept the things that you've done and own your stuff, like own it. And then you may can change, but I feel like you have to go through therapy. Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to do it by yourself. I feel like you gotta genuinely want to change in order to see some change happen. And there's not many people that's willing to admit when they wrong or admit that they're at fault or they got a flaw. There's not many people that's willing to do that and actually do the work to change. You may say you want to
To do
change,
that.
but nobody's really willing to want to put in the work because putting in the work is hard.
Okay.
It's a
oof,
very hard
It's
process.
easy. It's
very
easy
emotional too.
It's
to
very
yeah.
emotional. Yes, it
Man,
really is.
because
Yeah,
But
it
to
is.
get better, you
And
gotta want
therapy
to get
is
better.
right. And going to see a therapist is always good. I know a lot of people, especially in the black community, we shy away from those types of things because
They
how
feel
we
it
were
don't
brought
work.
up, what happens in your house stays in your house, all that kind of stuff. Or I ain't going to talk to nobody about nothing I got going on. I'm going to be fine, whatever. But, going through therapy is always a plus. I mean, I go through therapy. Like,
Me too.
all of because I mean, I have to, because if I don't, I'm going to beat and kick somebody in their back and broke it. So, it's best for me to just go ahead and sit on somebody's sofa.
Friends be so violent, bro.
She's
she,
so violent, bro.
she
It's
bro.
zero to violence with her. No in between. Zero to violence.
It's never.
Nothing in between.
Mm-mm.
I, I,
Any of
I
the
tell
she just
anybody, I've been, in a place of before I went to therapy of people saying, why you want to go to therapy? You don't need no therapy. That's, people stuff. What you need to go to therapy for? That's stupid.
man,
So me wanting to do
have
better and get help for myself because I feel the place that I'm going to. You know what I'm saying? So that's stupid for me to want to get help when I know I can't do it by myself. I can't help myself in this season. Yes, I go to God. I pray all the time. But sometimes you need a little bit more assistance. You know what I'm saying? So that's stupid. I realized, oh, I don't need these people. I don't need this negativity in my life because if you're not all for me wanting to better myself, I don't need you in my space, period.
Correct.
But
but you
going
do
to
have to pick the
therapy
right kind of
changed my
therapist though.
life. I'm not gonna lie, going to therapy helped me see a lot of stuff within myself that I needed to fix that I was oblivious to. I ain't gonna say I was oblivious to it. I didn't want to accept those things about myself. I wanted to sweep them under the rug like they wasn't there. Like I'm perfect. I don't need help. You know what I'm saying? But going to therapy helped me realize that no, baby, come sit here. Let me tell you about where you're
Well, for
going
the
wrong.
longest, I didn't think it worked, to be honest, and that's from experience. Like I think the first time I tried to do therapy was when I was going through a divorce with my husband, and I don't know what she just wasn't a good fit for me. Every time we sat down, she wanted to go over the same stuff we went over the last meet,
Oh, well, I would
and it
definitely
wasn't
say
that.
one size fit
So
all. You got to find a
yes,
person for you.
it wasn't that the things that we was going over wasn't helping, but it's just like we just kept revisiting the same
Yeah,
thing,
repetitive.
Um, right. And then the second therapist I tried, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to your problem. I'm just gonna give you medicine. So now you don't want to help me, you just want to numb me. So people, they get these bad experiences, so they get that bad taste in their mouth, and they don't want to go to
Hmm.
therapy anymore. But what's so crazy, the third time I went back, and I went back because I got tired of laying in the bed praying to the Lord to heal me from a man. And I think my friends was tired of hearing about it, because I talked. It's like if anybody wanted to listen, I want to talk about it. So I was like, you know what? I know they getting on my nerves, so I'm gonna pay this person. They ain't got no choice but to hear me. You know what I'm saying? And she can't judge me like my friends judge me. So I'm just gonna tell them anyway. And I went out of spite, like I know it ain't gonna work, but I know you gotta sit here and listen to me. And to be honest, she actually helped me. It took me like a actual year to go with her, and I'm not currently in therapy, but that year changed. And we started off with the breakup, like you're supposed to. You always gonna go. So everything is on the surface. So she went through the whole breakup thing, and she started layering me session by session. So in that year's time, we went over my relationship problems and the things of myself that made me pick certain type of people. What was wrong with me? What was wrong with Sheena? My own self esteem issues, my own self doubt that I had in myself. She went about the relationship that I have with my mother, the relationship that I have with my father, all those things that caused me to choose the things that I was doing, different things like that. And until you actually have to go through all that, you probably don't think therapy work.
Right.
Um, but and I can tell you now, it's like, and sometimes I would tell her, like when it came to like stuff about my mom, I'm like, listen, my mom gonna be my mom. We ain't no need for us to talk about that. But like she told me, it doesn't change your mother. It helps change you. It changes how
Mhm.
you deal with your mom, or it changes how you deal with your dad, or it changes how you deal with the behaviors of a man or behaviors of your child. Like, cause we we don't understand that we can't fix everything, you know. So it put us in these different places. But I do think therapy helps, but I think it's a stigma behind it, or people feel like you just want to sit on the couch and put people in your business.
Right.
You don't need that. Or
That.
you have people that's so into church, they feel like all you need is church. All you need is the Lord. You don't need because you got the Lord. And
Right.
sometimes you might need both.
Right. Right. I definitely agree with that. I mean, it took me a long time to find the right therapist. I think I might have went through like maybe 4 or 5 until, until I found the right one, because I felt like
Right.
the first few ones, I feel like I was wasting my money because I'm leaving you and I still feel the same. And you're not helping me. You're not giving me no guidance. Like the things that we talking about is trivial. So
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't feeling no progression with them. You know what I'm saying? So I went to the next and went to the next and went to the next until I found the one that clicked. And when I found the one that clicked, baby, I wasn't ready. I was not ready, baby. It was a few times I had to tell her, look, I need a couple of weeks because I can't keep going week to week like this with you, because this too emotionally draining for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, baby, we going back to childhood trauma. I'm
Because it
almost
do break you down. It breaks you
yeah,
down, but
I'm almost
he's
40
breaking
and
you
those
down
things.
to build you back up. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the
Yeah.
time I wasn't ready to relive those things that I went through as a child, or things that happened to me. I wasn't in a place of being ready to relive those moments, and it was just very hard. Like, baby, I spent a lot of time crying, a lot of time journaling. You know what I'm saying? It was just a whole lot, and therapy can be overwhelming, but you have to be in a place of pushing through it and fighting through it, because you're not gonna get the results unless you keep through it, and you gotta fight through that pain. You really do.
I mean, crying is good because you mess around and ask me the wrong stuff. I'm gonna be up there crying too. So,
Hello, baby, because look, baby, look, I be crying now when I think about certain stuff. I be like, oh Lord Jesus, you know what I'm saying? So I get it, but you sometimes you got to get it out, and sometimes your friends not you can't always just talk to your homegirls about everything, because a lot of
Oh,
times you got to realize that a lot of times you be trying to confide in your friends about a lot of stuff, when you have to realize that your friends are gonna give you perspectives from hurt perspectives. They're not gonna
and
give
not
you
even that.
perspectives from healed
Sometimes
place.
you got the ones that be like, "Oh no, stay in your situation."
Well, they
See, them
not
I
healed
people
them.
come from
have.
hurt places. They don't know no better
They
either.
not healed. Yeah, they not healed themselves,
You know what I'm
or
saying? So you
they.
gotta be
Yeah.
mindful of the people that you go to for guidance and counsel and advice, because a lot of those people are only gonna give you advice from places that they've already been through. A hurt person can't give me advice when I'm hurting, because you're gonna give me your perspective because you hurt too. So your advice not gonna help me.
Or they
I,
probably tell
And
you
then
like, oh, they not narcissistic. They just toxic. They
right.
make you.
They're just
They,
toxic.
yeah.
Or you
That
got
man
some
just
friends
toxic.
that might tell
He
you,
love you.
well, friend, you might just be doing a little too much. You doing too much. What?
Yeah.
Girl, if I done told you all this that this man doing, you gonna tell me I'm doing too much? Or you might have the friend that be like, well, friend, he doing all this for you and this and that. Like you might be
Or
being a
making
little
excuses
ungrateful.
for him. Yeah.
well, then that
You,
make that
you being
that
a little
that
ungrateful.
shows that your love can be bought,
Well,
sweetheart.
baby, you can have them then. You let me go on and move out the way and you can have them. You put up with it then. Since you think I should stay because he doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
You deal
Let
with
me
it.
go find my piece.
Hello, and baby, you could deal with it. Let me see how far you gonna get with it. Don't come back
Right.
to me and with friend. Have at it.
But he
Have fun
gonna
with that.
drag you through the mud, baby.
Have fun with
So
it.
my last question for tonight is, what would you tell someone who's questioning whether they're with a narcissistic person, and what should they do to move on?
My thing, do your
Um,
research. Definitely
Learn the
do,
truth.
just make sure that what you're dealing with, like I tell people all the time, go ask AI. She'll tell you. She'll
Ooh,
let you
Chat
y'all
know.
know
GPT.
me,
Chat GPT,
the
baby.
nerd, the
Yes,
nerd,
ma'am.
your nerd, the nerd.
Yes. And just, do some soul searching, some self evaluation, just make sure that what you're dealing with, whatever. But I promise you, if you look up the
I
true
feel like when you have
definition
to
of a
ask those
narcissist,
questions, then you know.
My
When
girl
you have
got
to
all the
ask
books.
those questions, you already
then
know
you
that you're
already
dealing with a
know.
narcissist. You
Absolutely.
just want me to confirm what you already feel. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you get to those dark places and those dark moments, you have to be strong enough to make the decision to choose you at the end of the day. Because
And that's
nothing,
just it.
nothing should cost you your peace, your sanity, or your happiness.
Or
Nothing.
your
No
life.
relationship
Or your
or your
life.
life. No relationship is worth your peace and your sanity at the end of the day. And you have to love yourself more than you love that person.
Yep.
Amen.
You have to love you.
You have to love you at the end of the day. You you gotta give
Crystal say
yourself some
post those
grace.
books in your
Give yourself
comment.
some grace.
Yeah, definitely give yourself some grace because you're not perfect. You gonna fall short sometimes. You're gonna make mistakes.
Okay,
You know,
I'll
we,
post them
we
for you.
we all have been there. You know what I'm saying? We've all been in situations that we probably knew better that we shouldn't have been in, and we still chose to be in those situations. So just like you said, give yourself some grace.
Yep.
Make a plan for yourself and get out of it
I would
because it's
Taylor,
not
we
gonna
was on
get
the
better.
same page. I was just about to say the same thing. You gotta sit down, come up with a plan.
Make a
Come up
plan,
with a plan.
and if it's a situation where you think it could turn physical, get somebody that's close to you that you could really trust, and you tell them your plan. You have somebody that can help you escape that situation if you need to.
Right.
Baby, get you a
And
whole separate
and let
phone,
me
get you
tell you
a wardrobe packed somewhere else in
yes.
somebody else's house. So when you need
Yes.
to get out of there, you got another
You
phone, you
out of
got
there.
a wardrobe somewhere else, baby. A little money stashed to the side because people like
Cause you're
that,
gonna
they
need the
think that
dip, baby.
they think that they two steps ahead of you, but baby, you got to know how to play chess and not checkers.
Hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
You
But a
definitely
lot of
gotta
people
have a plan because
don't
again,
prepare.
Preparing is so important because you can't get out of that situation ill prepared. You can't, because you ill
haphazardly,
prepared.
because you're gonna go back.
You're gonna end up going back. You're gonna end up going back because you
Yeah,
don't have
you're
no
gonna go
plan for
back.
yourself. You have to have a plan, and you have to have somebody in the loop that you trust, because you need to have somebody that know what's going on in the event, God forbid, but in the event that you find yourself in a situation that can't nobody get in contact with you, you need to have somebody who knows what's going on at all times that you can actually trust. It's good to have people in your corner that you can trust.
And that's the thing about a narcissist. We got to go back and remember that a narcissist will isolate you and strip all of your friends from you, and you cannot let it happen. You
Yeah.
cannot let it happen because you, like Kayla saying, you're gonna need that person that you're gonna, that you need to trust and that's gonna help you, and whatever it is
Oh,
that you said, you cannot let them take your friends and your family away from you. We
We
can't
love
do
you,
that.
Crystal.
I know, right?
Oh, Crystal. Love, love, love. Y'all know y'all can't see me. I had to have an emergency. I'm trying to get out, but
Yeah, because
love,
Jeremy Ben
love.
said you hopped in that car. He was trying to figure out who your
He
phone
said you
service
got a
was.
service provider.
Wait, what did he say? He tried because I hopped in the
That
car.
man
He said you
petty,
got
Yeah, he
bro.
out in the
said
car and
in
still
that
got
car
no
he was trying
service.
to figure out who your phone service
Y'all.
was.
So listen, I'm gonna give my little self a little. So I have a group home for girls, and I work 24/7. I'm never off. So we're having a little issue. So I'm headed there. But if anybody ever want to donate clothes, I house kid girls from 13 to 17. So if you ever want to give any donations to my group home, you can reach out to me, Ebony Lewis, Ebony_Lewis at yahoo.com. I am on Instagram at Keeping Up with Ebby. Just to let me know. I
You
take
don't
all
just make a
donations.
post or something, and we can share a post. Like make a post with your business and like the items that you need, and we can all just share it, and maybe someone will drop it off to you.
And
Okay.
ladies, and anybody who viewing, I'm gonna go ahead and plug Sheena in, baby. She got them journals out there. So if you need
Yes,
journals,
yes,
make
yes.
sure you hop on in
Make
and
sure you hop
They
on
are
it.
for sale on Amazon. So make
Yes.
sure y'all go get those journals from her. They what was the last one? I can't cuss on here, but
He had me messed up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's the
That
Yes.
one.
word.
That's the one because I was in therapy a year, baby. We had to talk about it, and I ain't-
Yeah.
and I did. Like, I went back a couple of times, and a couple of times, and a couple of times, and a couple of times until
hello.
you know.
Those journals and affirmations, baby, they really help. And
Yes.
y'all be on the lookout for my book. It's gonna be coming out soon, enough already. So yeah, we're gonna plug that in
Yes.
too.
And also
Yeah,
Kayla, travel agent. Yes.
Oh yeah, I am
yeah,
a travel agent too.
yeah.
So
Yes.
y'all go follow me, just tripping with KB on all social platforms.
Come on.
Well,
Some more
thank you,
promo. We gotta
ladies,
get it
so
out. Let's
much.
get it out. Put it on out there. We some bosses. We some bosses and we may have taken some losses, but baby, we came back better than ever, stronger than ever. And every woman out there, remember, even every man out there, if you've gone through something, you can come back stronger than ever. And let me tell you something, when you go through it. Don't try to get over it. You want to go through it
Yeah,
because when you go through the fire and you come out on the other side, man, can't nobody touch you.
Fact.
Won't nobody be able to
You're a
touch
whole
you.
new
Amen.
person.
You're
Yeah.
going to be on
Amen.
fire. Rise of the Phoenix. That is my favorite thing to say about myself because I rose like a phoenix out of the ashes, honey. Let me tell you something. And it can be done. It's possible. It's possible. It is
Well,
possible.
thank you, ladies. And I think all the viewers today. Today was better because we actually had our
Yes.
audience engagement. So the
Yes.
first time we was trying to
oh,
figure it out. So we got it now this time. So
Yes.
we're gonna have to do this again. I think the next topic gonna be. But you know what? Somebody did tell me they messaged me and said that we need to do one about kids feeling safe
Oh,
and
mm,
absolutely.
being able to tell their parents what's going on with them,
Yes.
and if
yes,
it's just them getting bullied at school
Yes.
or someone in the family touching them the wrong way, or
Yes.
they're going through some
Or they
things
want to
that
come out the closet.
yeah. So some kids don't feel like it's safe. So someone
I
told me that
love
needs to be the
all
next
of that.
episode,
I
like
love
how to
all
make
of
the
that.
Yes.
kids learn that it's okay to talk to your parent, and feel safe when they tell their parents certain things.
Definitely, let's do that because my
Absolutely.
girls with my nonprofit, baby, you'll be surprised the things that they send to us anonymously, questions that they too afraid to ask their parents.
Yeah.
Some is mind blowing. Like,
Well,
why are
maybe we
you
need to
thinking
do
about
the question and
this
answer session, and we can
person?
do that and see. So, but I'll connect you guys, and we'll figure out when the next time to do it. So, I'm going
All
Yeah,
to
y'all
right.
bed.
stay,
So,
y'all
okay.
look out for the next episode.
All right. Good
See
night,
y'all.
y'all.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye bye.